Hi, this is Lee with Creative Two-Time Mom, and this video is going to be an end-of-the-year homeschool evaluation video hosted by me, as well as April over at The Simple Rugged Path. I will leave her channel link down below, as well as the playlist. Have you guys set up outside with me here today? This is our final week of school in our homeschool, and so it's kind of that wrapping up of loose ends. We've been doing more school in the mornings and then just enjoying being outside in the afternoons. It's supposed to get really hot here next week, and so I thought, I'm going to take this opportunity to film this video outside while it's kind of a nice day. It's a little bit windy, so I'll try to edit that out. I hope you don't mind. There are 10 questions in this collaboration, and it's an open collaboration, so I will leave the questions down below if you want to create a video like this one. And of course, if you do, as always, leave me a comment telling me your channel name so I can come check it out. Let's jump into these questions. So if you see me looking down, I have all the questions written down on a piece of paper. I tried to film this video about a week ago, and I realized I wanted to spend some more time reflecting on each question. So for the past week, I wrote them all down, and I've just been making notes as I have time to think about each one. So I have my notes in front of me. The first question is, will you be making any curriculum changes next year? And I think so. I think with Noah, he's really struggled with math this year, and we went from Sadler Oxford, which is a pretty rigorous curriculum. We switched over to Saxon about probably November, and we've been doing Saxon since then, only because I haven't really been happy with it. The only reason why we've stuck with it is that I don't like to be wishy-washy. I don't like to pull my kids from curriculum to curriculum, because then I feel like that leaves gaps. So on the pro side, I like Saxon in that it continually goes back to old concepts. On the con side is that it just did not have enough review on the new concept. So it was constantly getting a new concept and it not being reinforced enough, so that by the next time he saw it in his problems, he really hadn't had enough practice with it to remember how to do it. So we're still looking for curriculum. I've also tossed around the idea of teaching textbooks, but I don't like to do a whole lot of stuff on the computer, so I don't know. I think we will go back to Sadler Oxford though. Number 3, what are your summer plans? Playing. I don't do a lot of homeschool. I'm not a year-round homeschooler. I need this break just as much as the kids. I have a few plans. We are going to be doing summer bridge workbooks this year. I've in the past tried to say, okay, one math lesson, you know, so many math lessons a week kind of thing. But it was too much work to have several workbooks going at once, and so I'm just gonna say we're just doing bridge workbooks. The kids are going to be involved in several reading challenges, the library one, a couple others that I have. So we're going to be doing lots of reading over the summer. I'm hoping to find some places to go hiking. It is really hot here in the summer, so locally it's hard to find places, but I'm hoping to find some areas within about an hour and a half away to do more hiking. And I want to work on multiplication facts with my 6-year-old. He will be going into 2nd grade in the fall, but he will be doing 3rd grade math. And so if we can get a little bit of a jump start on multiplication, that will be awesome. Number 3, do you have any last day of school traditions? I've been having a hard time with that one this year, because typically we just do a fun day. The kids get up, I'm like, okay, read, and then I cut the rest of their schoolwork for the day. We go to the park really early in the morning before it gets hot. We go swimming. And this year I just wanted to do something different, and so it's about 2 days until the last day of school, and I'm still working on that. We still want to go swimming for sure. I think that we will I've tossed around the idea of maybe like making homemade ice cream that day. They like to do STEM challenges in the afternoon when it gets really hot, so I need to plan something for that. I'm going to try to do a video of our last day of school, so it may look a little bit different this year, and then again it may look the same, because I've got 2 days to plan this. Number 4, have you already bought next year's curriculum? Some of it. We work with a charter, so I get a lot of our curriculum for free as long as it's not a Christian curriculum, and I've already pulled a lot of that curriculum so that our librarian has it set aside. I've purchased some of the language arts, because we do use a Christian language arts. Some of it, I realized the other day, I thought I had purchased my 6-year-old's language arts for next year, and it's not in my supplies, so I'm going to have to purchase that. And I have our science coming. It should be here by the end of the week. Other than that, No, not really. So it's kind of hit and miss here and there. A few things have been purchased, most of it has not. Number 5, what are some changes that you made this last year and how did they work? I'm not really big on change, however we did make some changes this year. I mentioned that we did Saxon with Noah and I wasn't really happy with it. Oh, we stuck it out, but we won't be going back to that, I don't think. We did first language lessons with my 6-year-old, which I loved. I didn't think I was going to like. I just figured we'd give it a shot, and it was probably one of my favorite changes this year. And I have a video about that I will link down below. And then we did Story of the World with my 1st grader, 4th grader. And it was a little bit young for my 4th grader, but I was able to adapt a few things, and now that we've done 1 year of that, I feel much more comfortable with adapting the curriculum for her for next year. I want to make it a little bit more challenging for her next year, but it was a great program, and I was really happy with it. I was really happy to be able to teach both grades history at the same time with that curriculum, pull in lots of we pulled in lots of fairy tales and lots of folklore to go with it. We pulled in lots of literature to go with it. I was very happy with Story of the World, and we will be using that again next year. That is one of those changes that is absolutely going to stick. Number 6, what was your favorite field trip this year, and will you do it again? Our favorite field trip this year, we didn't do as many field trips this year as we've done in the past, but our favorite field trip this year was going to the aquarium down in Monterey, and it was a bit of a drive for us. I want to say it was about 5 hours, so we took off on Sunday morning, and we spent all of Sunday down there once we got down there, and then we had our day at Monterey Bay Aquarium through their homeschool program on Monday, and it was amazing. My kids have been to the aquarium in Hawaii, which I can link below, and then they were at this one in Monterey, so it was only like the second one they'd ever been to. We had so much fun, and the Monterey Bay Aquarium, if you've not been there, is phenomenal. It's huge. I don't even think we saw everything that was there, and we were there for hours. Will we do it again next year? I don't know. I have the enrollment date on my calendar to try and get tickets for next year. My only hesitation is that it is 5 hours away, and so it's a hotel room, it's a whole day of travel, and then getting back for my husband to be at work on Monday. It's kind of a budget thing as well. I would really like to. I think it would be a great fun field trip to do again, but I don't know if we'll do it this next year or if we'll wait a couple years before we do it again. We'll see. I would like to, but I need to talk about that one with my husband. Number 7, what was one mistake you made in the past school year that you learned from? I think this was a mistake that I was learning as I was going, and a few months ago I shared a video with you guys. I think it was called Dealing with Strong Emotions, and it was about homeschooling in the middle school years and the emotions and the hormones and not getting sucked into your middle schoolers' drama. And when the school year started, I was absolutely sucked into the drama because I'm a pretty emotional person, and we had a little bit of a rocky start to our homeschool year at the beginning, and so I got sucked in, and I really had to spend the last year training myself, and I still have good days and bad days, but training myself to not get sucked into the emotion. Just training myself to be a model of self-control, to be a model of positivity, to be a model of things will be okay, because I found that the more I got sucked in and my emotions got escalated, his emotions got escalated, and it just had a tendency to ruin our day, not just homeschooling, but to ruin our day. And so that's something that I've been learning this last year, is just to dial it down a little bit and to be mom, but to be a very more self-controlled mom. Number 8, what was your favorite read aloud from the past year? I have 2. One that was my personal favorite, and then one that's the kids' favorite. They loved the Indian in the Cupboard series, and if you didn't know this, the Indian in the Cupboard series has 4 different books. I thought there was only 1, and after we read the first one, we discovered that there were 3 more, and the kids wanted to continue to read them. So if you saw our read aloud list from 2017 and 2018, they looked very similar because we didn't get through the Little House series last year because we spent so much time on the Indian in the Cupboard series. That was how they finished out the year. They loved that one. My personal favorite, and this has been my personal favorite for many, many years, is Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. I love that book. I love the characters in the book. The father in that book is incredible. So that is probably one of my top books anyway. And we reread it last year since we had another little one coming up and I wanted him to be exposed to it. So that was my favorite read aloud from last year. Number 9, we're getting there, you guys. What personal read encouraged you the most in your homeschooling journey? And I looked back over the books I read last year and I would say there were books that I learned from. I don't know that there were books that I was encouraged by. And I want to start including that more next year. So if you have a recommendation, leave me a comment down below. I've heard Teaching from Rest is really, really good. I've also heard The Unhurried Homeschooler, I believe it's called, is good, but I haven't read either of those. So I kind of had to go from not so much encouragement on a heart level as much as encouragement on a brain level. And the first one was A Year of Learning Dangerously, and it was kind of half memoir of this woman's journey as she was exploring what kind of homeschooler she wanted to be. And so she met with several different homeschoolers of different philosophies, different backgrounds, and she took a very humorous look at stereotypes. And one of them was like the homeschool prom, one of them was the religious homeschooler, one of them was a very unschooled environment. And so it was pretty funny. It was one of those that was encouraging on a level of just saying, you know, we all have very different styles of teaching, we all have very different styles of learning, and yet we produce highly functional members of society. The second one was Growing Up Too Fast, and it was not encouraging on a heart level at all. It was encouraging more so on what our middle schoolers are going through, and this was not a homeschooling book. It was a book about the pressures that your homeschoolers face, and it was more so geared toward public school parents. So the societal pressures, the cultural pressures of middle school, the emotional and the hormonal things that are going on with your middle schooler. I can't recommend that book highly enough. In fact, I want to go back and reread it because it really helped me identify with my middle schooler in a way that I hadn't before, and to just see what's actually going on in those middle school years. So that one was a big one. What area or strength have you grown in the most in this past year? And I would say I've grown in the most of just separating teacher from mom. For so many years, I've had just little ones, and so I've been teacher, 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 and this year with a middle schooler, I had to really separate and step back and go, there are moments when I just need to be mom. There are moments when I just need to set aside like the curriculum aspect of things and the grade aspect of things and just be empathetic and relate to my kids as like, I'm sorry you had a rough day, and not in the respect of, I'm sorry you had a rough day, you should have been paying more attention. But in the respect of, I'm sorry you had a rough day, I know that you're trying, I know that you want to do better, what do you think that we can do to improve this, and kind of guiding and leading them in that. I'd say of anything, that's the thing I've most grown in this year, is just separating school from home. And you guys know as homeschoolers that's hard because home and school are so wrapped up, but there are moments where we just need to be mom and dad and be a listening ear and be sympathetic. So that's kind of my area that I've seen the most growth in this year. So that is the questions for the end of the year homeschool evaluation. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what are the areas that you have seen the most growth in yourself or in your kids in the past year. How are you reflecting on your past homeschool year, or are you just jumping into learning in the summer? Are you a year-round homeschooler? I'd love to know that as well. What do your breaks look like? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, also don't forget to check out the playlist down below, as well as going over and saying hi to April at The Simple Rugged Path. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.